Welcome to episode 73 of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by our friends over at Mohawk Honda in Scotia, Glenville, as well as Johnstone Supply in Troy. And we are recording on Monday, October 31st, so happy Halloween, motherfuckers. Yep, I'm waiting to see what's this. Is this just something random? Is this a sock puppet? What we got going on here? That's a raccoon? What is that? What we got
That's
going
a
on
ferret.
Here? Oh, it's a ferret? Okay. Hello, ferret. Is there a name for the ferret?
John Gold Ferret.
John Gold Ferret. All right.
Yes.
So those are on the visual side. You see the puppet that Mr. Alexander has brought up to the screen.
He's also a transformer.
Oh, he's a transformer.
Yeah, he's a were-ferret.
A were-ferret.
Yes.
Because
when the Halloween moon raises above, he transforms.
Okay. I didn't know it was a ferret out of the Harry Potter novels, but okay, good to know. That'll be what the fuck is that?
Ah! He transforms into a lizard.
Oh. Okay. Oh my goodness. That's the hell of a way to start off the show. Wow. That's okay. Does it shed skin while it's out overnight?
Oh, I shed more than skin.
God almighty. Oof. You're in rare form after sitting out the last couple nights. How are you, sir?
Exhausted.
Yeah. I bet you are. You and your bonfires and your sitting guard or whatever the hell you were doing, but yeah.
Keeping an eye out for vandals.
That would be good.
That's why I do it.
That'd be good reason to sit out. And do you have to do it again tonight or?
Yep.
Lovely.
And then I will sleep the next 2 days.
Literally. Like, don't make me move, wife. All right, let's get into it. So yeah. Some interesting stuff we need to catch up on. But let's start with New Japan real quick. Oh, I didn't upload the picture. The TV title bracket updated.
Mm-hmm.
So, damn it, I don't know if it's. No, let me try to send myself the TV title tournament update, so that the visual side can see what it looks like now. And then, while I'm doing that, we can break down New York City.
Yeah.
Friday night. So, Friday night was down in the Palladium Times Square, in which we saw, we featured a title. We had a title change. We had the return of Clark Connors to in-ring action. And then we had an interesting main event. So let's get right into it as far as the results are concerned. Beginning with pre-show, they just had a random women's tag match. Kylie Ray was involved in it. She got the pinfall victory in that. Mm-hmm. Main show, it was a battle of chaos versus Bullet Club. Yujiro Takahashi getting the pin for him and Show, beating Rocky Romero and Yo. And then the Strong Openweight Championship, Fred Rosser had a successful defense, against Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
I don't think Gresham was pre-announced for that, by the way.
Yeah, he was. Because I remember going in, because that was one of the things after I saw that he worked the GCW show. I saw that he was booked on. That's the wrong graphic. I saw that he was booked on the Times Square show.
Gotcha. There we go. So, moving on in the show, then we had the Openweight Tag titles, the Strong Openweight Tag titles, and in their fourth defense, Aussie Open lost, but was not part of the decision, as was a triple threat match. So Chris Sabin got the pinfall in the victory for the Motor City Machine Guns, pinning Kevin Knight. So the Motor City Machine Guns are now the second Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions in the title's history. Aussie Open, the champs coming in, like I mentioned, didn't factor into the decision. So one would assume
They'll get a rematch somewhere. Yada yada.
Correct. 6-man tag action. Shota Umino got the pinfall on Jorel Nelson. The teams for that were Homicide, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota against Filthy Tom Lawler, Royce Isaacs, and Jorel Nelson. Then in singles action, the return of Clark Connors. Unfortunately, he would end up losing in 1550 to Minoru Suzuki. And Ken Shamrock came to ringside with Clark Connors.
Interesting.
Which was interesting. And then after the match, Shamrock and Minoru Suzuki had a nice little hug in the middle of the ring, which was random. And I guess
two angry grandpas hugging it out.
Essentially. Then we had the SWA World Championship defended, which now that I'm 90% sure was not pre-announced.
No.
Mayu Iwatani retained against Kylan King in 11:47. The KOPW trophy thing that was in I want to say it was a New York City Street Fight, I believe was the stipulation. Shingo retained over El Phantasmo in 21 minutes. And then the main event, Bullet Club defeats Chaos as Jay White gets the pinfall on Eddie Kingston. I mean, I don't think Eddie's really part of Chaos, but I don't know. Whatever.
Who the fuck knows nowadays?
That was in 2015. So Okada did not factor into the loss, the decision for the loss, but took the loss anyways. And Jay White's partner was Juice Robinson, and then obviously Jay White doing his best, healing it up, mouthing off at Okada after the show.
Right, just to keep piping up Wrestle Kingdom.
Of course. And speaking of those two, they did announce during the show the first big New Japan event that will be occurring in 2023 on U.S. territory. Battle in the Valley. They're going back to San Jose, California. And I'm sorry for the graphic on the visual side being a little blurry there. But it's going to be Saturday, February the 18th. So that's going to be, I think in sports terms, that's either the week after or 2 weeks after the Super Bowl. Don't know. Doesn't really factor in. Yeah. But basically, essentially, what's usually a pretty quote-unquote dead period in U.S. wrestling, because AEW doesn't usually run a big show that month. Yeah. WWE currently, I don't believe, has...
No, because the Rumble's in January.
Yeah, because I think when we last talked, there wasn't any discussion of them.
Right. I think the plan is to only have one stopgap show in between the Rumble and Mania instead of one a month.
Actually, I'm wrong. That same night, they are running as of right now, the plan is they are running Elimination Chamber that same night, but it's all the way over in Montreal, so it's not even in the same country.
Interesting.
But that could, I mean, it's on Peacock, so people can always go back and watch if they go to the show in San Jose. So I don't think it's really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But anywho, that's the announcement they had during the weekend. And then finally, like I mentioned, update to the TV title tournament. I will show the graphic because this is my manual updating. And I'm sure you all appreciate the nice little hash marks and there. But let me try to explain this as best as I can because these updates came from shows that took place last Wednesday and Thursday. So, far bottom right side of the graphic were the final two opening round matches in the tournament. They had Ren Narita go over on Tomohiro Ishii, and then Toru Yano go over on Great Okan in those two opening round matches.
Jesus.
Then they had a pair of quarterfinal matches on Thursday, in which Zack Sabre Jr. defeated David Finlay, and Evil defeated Yoshihashi. Now, apparently, and I'm going to try to pull this up real quick on the fly. I just noticed by showing that graphic, they had the other two quarterfinals last night, so bear with me. Here we go. Okay. So, going back to it. So, in the other quarterfinals, Sonata defeated Kenta, and Ren Narita defeated Toru Yano.
Okay.
So, on November the 5th, which is this coming Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Semifinal number 1 will be Zack Sabre Jr. against Evil. Semifinal number 2 will be Sonata versus Ren Narita. The 2 winners meeting at Wrestle Kingdom to crown the first ever New Japan television champion. You still think it's not going to be Sonata, like I said, or are you going to just...
I don't know. Might be Ren Narita.
We'll wait and see. I just think the whole left side of the bracket just went to shit. Like, I don't know what, why? Like, why? Like, fucking why?
Yeah.
But
I can't believe they put Toru Yano over Great O'Khan.
Listen, I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you on that one. It is what it is. I'm trying to remember where these semifinals are gonna be. Where are they gonna be? I know it's obviously the 5th. I'm just trying to remember where the show is gonna be. It is gonna be in Osaka. Osaka is November 5th. It's also gonna have a junior heavyweight tag title match that night as Teton and Bushi will challenge Akira and TJP. Let's see what else. Otherwise, nothing really. There's also going to be Master Wato and Ishimori against Takahashi and El Desperado. Tama Tonga and Okada teaming to face Kenta and Jay White. And then apparently, now, let's not go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, FTR is going to defend their titles this Saturday night in Osaka.
Huh?
They're going to defend them against Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb, who
they beat for him.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's who they beat for the titles.
United Empire.
And then, wow, this is a loaded card actually. The main event, U.S. title being defended, Will Ospreay defending against Naito. It's actually a pretty stacked card for this weekend. So,
you know something? I'm willing to bet that FTR is about to drop those belts.
Probably.
Because they already set them up for the loss.
Well, it's only their second defense, and how long have they had the damn belts? Like,
since May.
Yeah, so.
And the thing is, with what happened on Rampage, I could see them very much, they're on the losing streak. So this way you can have them, they had a loss on American TV. So now they can lose the IWGP belts. And then because the New Japan stuff is going to go away again for a while with AEW. So, yeah, that makes sense.
They can be gone.
Yeah.
Be gone. All right. What are you shaking? A shake? Oh, water. You're putting flavor in your water?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay. All right. So let's move on to Impact. Let's dive into that. Pre-show, they put one of their X Division title tournament matches in the pre-show. Like, what
I got nothing.
What are we doing? They're going to tell me that match is less important. Let me just find another random match on the card from the actual show itself. You're going to tell me that that's less important than... I guess it's her debut, so I guess I can't fault that. What other match could I have? Hey, really? We're doing Chris Bay versus Tommy Dreamer over the first round of your X Division title tournament? Like, that's what we're doing on your TV? We're doing that? Matt Cardona versus Alex Shelley. Like, I mean, I get that they're trying to work towards the tag title match they're eventually having, but what the fuck are we doing? Oh, here we go. Raj Singh versus Joe Hendry. I'm sure everybody was clamoring for that match over the opening round of your X Division tournament. There's our winner. We got it. Ring the bell. God damn it. Anyways, in that pre-show match, Black Taurus defeated Laredo Kid to advance to the semifinals, where he'll take on the winner of the Uemura PJ Black match. And then they had their second X Division opening round match to open the show after because this was really fucking necessary after what's happened the last 2 weeks. Apparently, they felt the need to do a segment to open the show where Scott D'Amore fired Taven and Bennett.
Well, yeah, because, they're not there.
Okay. They didn't do that shit with, who'd they take the belts off of again? Oh, fucking Good Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck them. Whatever. Then the second opening round match, Trey Miguel beat Alan Angels, and he moves on to face of the eventual winner of Kenny King versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
So it's going to be Trey Miguel versus Mike Bailey.
Maybe. We'll see. Then we get Ace Austin and Chris Bay accusing Bully Ray taking out Ace Austin in the parking lot last week. Bully continues to deny that. Blah, blah, blah. Then VXT and Giselle Shaw vow to win the 6-woman tag team main event later in the night so that they can have Mickie James retire. You can probably take a guess who won that match later on, but I'll get to it. Then they had the debut of, I don't know if it's Rachel or Rochelle, the way it's spelled. Rachel Shield?
No clue.
I don't know either. But she beat Tasha Steelz by DQ once Savannah Evans got involved in the match.
How you could...
Somebody debut and win by DQ their first match? I don't know.
Yeah, like, what?
You realize who we're talking about, right?
Still, like, that's some indie-rific shit.
I mean, they could have appeared as a random challenger for an open challenge they didn't deserve to be in and lose it. We'll get to that later.
Not the same.
Anyways, then Keith and Rhino are backstage with their new tag team titles, blah, blah, blah. So they tell the Machine Guns they're willing to give them the title shots, a shot at the titles. But then Cardona and Myers say they want the same opportunity, so then D'Amore makes a match between Shelley and Cardona. Sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then Chris Bay versus Tommy Dreamer. Chris Bay actually wins. Wow. I'm stunned. During the match, Moose confronted Bully Ray. After Bully Ray apparently suggested Moose is the one that laid out Ace Austin last week. Fucking then Aussie Open is backstage, and they issue an open challenge to any tag team who thinks they have what it takes to take them on. And they were introduced as the New Japan Strong Tag Champs, so we'll see.
Whoopsie.
Then we get a promo backstage, with Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer. Bully's pissed because apparently nobody in Impact Wrestling trusts him. Gee, I wonder why. Then Cardona beats Alex Shelley. After Myers hits Shelley with the digital media title behind the referee's back, Cardona rolls him up for the 3. So the major players get a shot at the tag titles. Then we got what else? Then we get a random. Let's see here. Then we get a random segment where apparently Frankie Kazarian and Josh Alexander agree to be partners next week to answer the challenge of Aussie Open. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Joe Hendry beats Raj Singh. Because,
reasons.
What's going to happen. Eric Young, speaking to somebody that they can't figure out who it is. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like, is this for next week? Eric Young against Sami Callihan? I don't know. I can't tell. I think it is. Then Eddie Edwards does a sit-down interview, asks about the status of Honor No More. Group is disbanded. No shit. And then he talks some crap about PCO, basically. Okay. All right. So
we're going to get an Eddie Edwards PCO feud out of this.
Basically.
Boy.
Then your 6 woman main event, 6 knockout main event, whatever you want to call it. Knockouts champ Jordan Grace, Taylor Wilde, and Mickey James defeated VXT and Giselle Shaw. After Taylor Wilde, Wild Spears Perazo, Mickey DDT's Chelsea Green, and Mickey gets the pinfall victory for the team. Let's see if anything happens at the end. Nope, they just sobered to go off the air. Preview for this coming Thursday show includes the other two X Division tournament quarterfinal matches: King versus Bailey, Uemura versus Black, as well as Aussie opening against Frankie Kazarian and Josh Alexander, and Eric Young against Sami Callihan. Those are the 4 pre-announced matches for the show coming up this Thursday.
So Chelsea Green taking that pin is probably her swan song.
Probably.
Not a fan. Not a fan at all.
Totally forgot that was. Yeah.
Not a fan.
Well, do you ever expect her to make a big impact? No pun intended. Where she's going.
No, but still, like, why even give her a chance?
You know what? Fuck it. Let me just bring it up. For those of you who may have been living under a rock the last week, apparently Chelsea Green is signing to WWE. Now, do we know she's going to immediately be main roster, or is she?
I'm pretty sure she's going to go to NXT.
Okay.
Which at the same time, like, I mean, because she obviously needs to learn to work WWE style and needs to learn to work. Period. Like, there's still like a bunch of British girls that they haven't brought over yet, and here they are signing Chelsea Green.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're taking Chelsea Green over Ginny and Zaya Brookside and Isla Dawn? Like, bruh.
Are we still 100? Are we 100% sure though that she's going to end up being on NXT and not the main roster?
She's got to be, because she's got to learn WWE style. Like, she needs to be smartened up.
And here's the other part of it: the last time she was under WWE contract, she was crazy injury prone.
Yeah. Which is why they're going to send her to NXT, to make sure that she doesn't keep hurting herself. But the other thing is,
signing itself just kind of baffles me beyond just
right. Plus, it's like, she's going to be lobbying the whole fucking time for her husband to get signed again, and it's just like, no, why? Nobody wants Cardona back.
Well, I have nothing. And then obviously, if she lobbies for him, then you know who he's going to lobby for as well.
Hawkins, right?
So I don't know. It's an odd signing. I'll say that much. It's a very odd signing. Doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. As far as what we would think they're trying to build over in WWE and NXT.
All right.
But again, obviously this is all wait and see as far as what happens, what comes of it. So
yeah,
we'll go from there. All right. So before we get into our lovely, lovely time with AEW and Ring of Honor. Obviously, that was meant as a joke, so I appreciate your slight giggle there, JJ. Let me just remind you about something that's more reliable than the creative process over at AEW, and that would be being able to get a dependable vehicle from Mohawk Honda over in Scotia Glenville. Yes, the seasons continue to change as obviously the chill is in the air. We're getting through the fall and now closer and closer towards the holiday season, which means winter is coming. But the one constant is a quality buying experience and selling experience over at Mohawk Honda. We'll be treated with a smile and respect and given a fair value for your trade-in. New vehicle inventory is continuing to ramp up at Mohawk Honda, including pilots, passports, Ridgelines, CRVs, and everything. Everything. Remember, also, it's the best time to sell your vehicle as well, as Mohawk Honda does buy cars and in some cases are able to sell it for more than you paid for it. If you recall, the Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash offers have been going on throughout the year. They are still giving you the best bang for your buck even today. Just another advantage you get from the number one volume dealer in the Capital Region, led by General Manager Greg Johnson. Visit him and their great team of sales consultants that's going to be willing and able to get you through the buying and selling process. And don't forget to say hi to Scott Moynihan, who's returned to Mohawk Honda with his 30-plus years of automotive experience. Say hi, give him a hug, say Godzilla Media sent you, and he'll give you a hug back. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe. I guess that's how it works. Yeah. So go somewhere that's going to make sure they take care of you within your budget and your lifestyle over at Mohawk Honda, Freemansbridge Road in Scotia, where they always go out of their way to please you. Grab your torch and pitchforks. It's time for AEW. I don't know what that accent was. Don't ask. I have no idea. I was free balling the whole thing. Shocked to say, you openly admitted to me before we started recording the show, you watched Dynamite not once, but twice.
For the most part, because I started watching it here, and I hit the DVR because I had to, because it's Wednesday and it's American Horror Story season. When that happens, we go over to Shell's house so she can watch it without being alone. So we go to Shell's, and I caught like the beginning and the end of Rampage, or not Rampage, the beginning and the end of Dynamite between here and Shell's. And then I went back this morning to fill in the gaps, and I basically rewatched a couple other segments.
So you're trying to say you're the protector for Shell, so she don't get scared?
Oh yeah.
Aww.
That's the way it's been since season 3. Season 4.
That's adorable. Aww. You are a teddy bear. Aww, that's adorable. Anyways, I'll stop being an asshole and just move on. Dynamite live from the Chartway Arena in Norfolk, Virginia. I'm assuming that's the new name for the Scope.
No, I thought it was a different arena than the Scope.
Oh, it's a totally different arena from the Scope?
I thought so.
The Scope still exists? Hold on.
I thought the Norfolk Scope still existed.
I'll double check. I don't know. Oh,
because they did the Scope a few months ago.
Some bitch, you're right. Yeah. All right. I stand corrected. Fuck me. Okay. All right. Okay. I'll step back. Anyways, we go to the Chartway Arena. We open with fuck Judas, I suppose. I would assume that's the music that came out to because he's in the match.
It was the Make-A-Wish tag team match.
The what? Make-A-Wish? Why?
Yeah, because you had the two veterans in there with the 2 children that they're trying to push. Well, Garcia and Yuta are like the Make-A-Wish kids you get to have a tag match with your favorite wrestler.
They're not disabled, fucking asshole. God. You're an asshole. Anyways, so it was Garcia and the Ring of Honor World Champ Jericho, Pure Champion and the World Champ, actually, against Claudio and Wheeler. Eventually, Yuta and Claudio get the win. Yeah.
After the whole thing where they did the bit where, okay, making things believable is not in the AEW wheelhouse.
No, you don't say.
We all know Claudio is cockstrong, but you don't do dumb shit like have him set up Jericho for the big swing and have Garcia run in and jump on his back. So then he's doing the big swing with an airplane spin at the same time on both of them. Like, it just looks dumb. It doesn't look believable.
Kind of dumb.
It does. Like, it's like, yeah, we get it. Yo, Claudio's strong, but also Garcia weighs what, $150? Like, yay. I could do that.
Have you met your legs?
Yeah. They're titanium now. I know I could do it. My quads are strong.
Are you able to walk?
Almost.
Let's work on the walking first, then we'll get to the airplane spinning. Fucking guy. Anyways.
Right, but that's all upper body strength, the airplane spin.
Sure. So after the match, we get Bryan Danielson being interviewed in the back by Renee.
Yeah, so they tried to do like an even flow through the whole thing because they did the whole. So the finish came with them throwing a bat into the ring for Jericho to use, and Claudio fucking kicks it out. And so when Claudio gets the win, they walk to the back. They're interviewing Danielson in the back, like right behind like the tube. And here comes Claudio and Yuta. And Yuta gets in fucking Danielson's face. But I'm not your kid. I'm not your boy. I'm not a child, which, yes, you are. And all you are is superhuman on stilts. Fucking and like basically like that, like Claudio gets in between them and he is like, you're all gonna behave because it's Wheeler's birthday and we're gonna go talk this out. And it looked fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, interesting. Because I just read through that what that segment was. Yeah, and it sounds like Danielson's taking on Sammy later in the night.
Yes, yeah, Danielson's taking on Sammy, and so then they go to interview fucking Jericho's whole fucking mob of fuckwits.
Mm-hmm.
And the production is fucking terrible. There's an echo. Titus! God damn.
Also, before that, there was also a promo video for the Elite, which showcases them being erased from AEW throughout a bunch of moments.
Yeah, it was a video of like a Thanos snap with them fucking fading. It was so fucking... It's their White Rabbit is what they're trying to fucking do, and it looks dumb. And it's obvious they're coming back and they're gonna be heels. Yay, no one gives a fuck.
Right.
But yeah, so then Jericho's getting interviewed and shit, and freaking the sound is all fucked up from the production truck, so there's an echo and you're not hearing Jericho. And like there's a spot where you see one of the production people like trying to crawl in on the floor to fix the shit. You just see the back of his fucking gray head. Like, and they ended up like just taking it and fucking like cleaning up the sound and replaying it on Rampage. But basically it was coked up Menard saying because there was a bat in the ring, it was a tainted victory, even though it was him that threw the bat in the ring. And then Sammy saying blah, 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 Danielson, and then Ty trying to talk and failing miserably, saying that she was going to face Madison Rayne. And Jericho saying that on Dynamite this week, he's going to take on any former ROH champion, whether it's world champion, TV champion, tag champion, or women's champion.
Lovely.
So it would be funny if Mercedes Martinez came out and kicked him in the dick.
That would be pretty funny, actually.
Or Sumi Sakai.
Then we get the number one contenders match for the AEW tag titles, Swerve and Our Glory against FTR.
Oh, hold on. I got a clip.
For he is fat! He's 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 fat!
I almost lost my shit when. Oh my god! So, all right, let me set up where that audio is from. So I don't know who this YouTuber is, or
me neither.
Whatever. But JJ decided to share a video with me. I believe it was this past week.
Yeah.
Where some douchebag YouTuber decided to recreate Adam Cole in
Here Comes the Pain.
SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, yeah. And made him look like basically a stick figure, not a real human being.
Yeah.
And basically, the entire video is Adam Cole getting smashed by all these different WWE wrestlers from the roster at the time, like Austin, Rock, Taker.
Yeah, Big Show, everyone.
Big Show, yeah. And at the very end, it seems like he's teasing that the next video is going to be about Keith Lee being recreated in that game. And the audio that plays is what you just heard.
With Scott Steiner just kicking the shit out of him.
Right. And if I remember correctly, the clip of Scott Steiner yelling he's fat, I'm assuming was
about Samoa Joe and Impact. Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
It was like he got all flustered during a promo as he's turned. He's like, he's fat.
Right. That's right. Okay. So Swerve and Our Glory against FTR. Gun Club is ringside. The Acclaim's music hits.
And the Acclaim sits down on the ramp.
Right. Then go through the match, blah, blah, blah.
So let me talk about this match for a second.
Go ahead.
Number one, I would like to point out, because everyone keeps talking about how FTR is the greatest tag team on the planet, and I'd be righteous to agree, like, as far as talent goes, like, I'm a fan of their work. Something dawned on me as I was watching this. Number one, this match was 4 former WWE talents. But number two, everyone says FTR is the greatest tag team in the world and blah, 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 blah. And who trained FTR? They were both homegrown WWE talents. They are products of the PC. So as far as anyone talks about indie-rific people and Japan and fucking all this shit, no, the greatest tag team in the world by everyone's standards was produced by WWE. Remember that. Every time anyone says how great FTR is, they came from the goddamn PC. Fuck off. But anyways, my problem with this match was that Keith Lee was the one taking all the heat.
Which is odd considering
You're muted.
Still muted?
Oh shit, hold on. Maybe you're not muted. Hold
No,
on.
I'm not muted. Here you go with your stupid little fucking amp again. Hold on, let me check the amp.
My bad.
Yeah, you're bad.
Yeah, Keith Lee was taking all the heat in the match.
Which is weird because the one that's been doing all the heat-seeking stuff has been Swerve the whole time.
Right. Keith Lee's taking all the heat. Keith Lee was Ricky Morton in this match. And like Keith Lee is taking all the double team moves. Like they did the powerplex on him. They did the big rig on him. Like the dude that weighs 400 pounds is taking all the heat.
Seems ass backwards to me.
Very much. And then we get to the fucked finish where fucking Cash gets tossed to the outside and fucking he gets tossed over into the barricade over where the gun club is. And so then the guns are holding him back so he can't get away. And it looks so when they keep going back to it, like the way they're holding him, like, dude, like a 3-year-old's gonna slip down him and like, bye. Like it just looked bad, like they weren't holding it. Like you can tell that they're fucking kids that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not the way you restrain someone. Like literally, like you've got 2 of you, and like each of them are just like holding one of his arms, like no, you fucking choke hold him and fucking make it look like he's a struggle. And meanwhile, Dax goes to Irish whip fucking Keith off of the fucking rope. Reversal, Swerve pops up and fucking nut shots Dax while he's on the ropes, and the ref doesn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And Keith does the fucking Big Bang Catastrophe and wins. And then the moment the bell rings, boom, here come the guns over the fucking barricade. Here comes the Afterbirth, beating down Cash, get in, beat up that. Here comes the Acclaim running down the fucking ring. Here comes Billy Gunn running down into the fucking ring. Fucking Swerve and fucking Keith Lee powder. And fucking it's just the Acclaimed and FTR left in the ring. So Keith Lee, of course, does not know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He just knows that he won, and that continues on into the bullshit they pulled on Rampage, which we'll get to later.
So then after the match, we get Saraya and Renee having a little BFF time. Britt Baker interrupts.
And Renee goes, no.
Renee has to pull out her motherly voice and say, stop arguing, basically.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much the entire segment.
Yep.
Then we come back from commercial. Renee is now out on the top of the ramp, brings out MJF. MJF talks and talks and talks.
He wavers back and forth between baby and heel. He does some things that make everyone cheers. Then he does the heel pop. Does this other. Stokely comes out. And here's the problem. Tony Khan is relying on thinking that everyone knows that Max and Stokely used to work together on the indies. That's what he's going off of and doesn't realize. People don't know that. You know?
Stupid.
Yes.
Then we get a promo video about the Kingdom's rival in AEW, basically setting up the the TNT title match for Rampage later in the week.
Okay. Another fucking... I want to know who the fuck's producing all these backstage fucking vignettes. Because it's not a fucking veteran. Because the shit was ass backwards. You had Taven and Bennett and Maria standing there. And Taven basically saying, I'm a Grand Slam champion from Ring of Honor. I've done everything there is to do. We came here for gold, yada, yada. Taven sounded like, for lack of a better term, a generic babyface promo. And then it cuts over to Wardlow and Joe, and Wardlow's like, you ain't shit. I don't care. I'm going to kick the shit out of you anyway. You're not going to win. Like, just completely buries him.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the heel does, jackass. Who the fuck is fucking feeding you your lines?
But Wardlow's a badass, dude.
Doesn't fucking matter.
Then we got Sammy versus Danielson.
Man.
2-seg match. Danielson eventually wins.
Mm-hmm. Nothing of merit to the match.
Okay. Then we cut to the back with Renee, Ray Phoenix, and Alex Abrahantes. Then Christian Luchasaurus interrupt. Blah blah blah.
Basically, Alex says that Ray Phoenix deserves a shot at the All Atlantic title. Why? We have no idea. And then Christian walks in with Luchasaurus and says, my monster's on a tear, so he deserves the All Atlantic title. Out of nowhere.
Then Orange Cassidy steps in and says, next week, let's do this.
And makes a 3-way. Because that's what happens when you have no authority figures on TV, is workers can just make their own matches.
So basically, Orange Cassidy is turning us into the triple threat title. That's
yep.
Nice.
It makes it a triple threat. There's no rhyme nor reason towards why it's happening. And like, it's like, unless they put this title on Luchasaurus to make him a monster, like, what the fuck was the point of this match?
Then we get Riho in her return Dynamite match against Jamie Hayter, 2-seg match.
Jamie Hayter and her nasty ass camel toe.
And Jamie Hayter wins because, let's not let Riho win her return match. That's nice.
She weighs 75 pounds.
Just saying, dude.
She weighs the same as one of Hayter's ass cheeks.
After the match, Britt celebrates with Hayter. Tony Storm's music hits. Her and Jamie Hayter face off. And then we just cut to Renee with Eddie Kingston.
Yep. Eddie had a really good promo. I will give him. I love Eddie, but Eddie had a really good promo.
And
see my Colgate smile.
Basically talking about Mox's match, essentially.
Yeah, it was Eddie. It was Eddie doing the dick baby face fucking promo because everyone's like, "You're unhinged." He's like, "I'm not unhinged. I'm very happy. Look at me. I'm smiling."
Yes. Then we get the usual rundown of the Rampage card and stuff for this coming week on Dynamite.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Then we get a Darby video package talking about Sting's absence, blah, blah, blah. And then apparently Jay Lethal is going to face Darby this week.
Yep.
Great. Another loss for Jay Lethal. Then we get to the main event, AEW World Title match.
For no reason.
Penta versus Mox.
Because Halloween?
Right.
Don't know.
Mox retains. And after the match, the Firm jumps Mox. And
they cut to the back to show that there's chains wrapped around the door of the Blackpool Combat Club's locker room, which was a ripoff of fucking Clash of the Champions 89, I believe.
Something like that.
Which was like, for any wrestling historian, that was like a big falling out, like, of the shit that they pulled doing that, where like fucking that was basically when Inoki like basically fucking burned every bridge to the NWA possible doing that. Just go back and watch.
Then MJF comes out, looks conflicted, ends up pushing everyone off of Mox. Ends up firing Stokely, and then the Firm just turns on MJF and lays him out, and eventually getting put through a table ringside by Morrissey, and that's how we go off the air.
So MJF is officially a babyface. Thanks for fucking up the only good thing you had going on your show. Because there's no coming back from this. What are you going to fucking go and have the Firm come out and interfere during the title match and MJF wins and be like, it was a big swerve, bro. Nobody in their right mind would get the shit kicked out of them by 8 guys and get put through a table as part of a swerve.
That's not even my biggest issue with this. Would you like to know my biggest issue with this?
Sure.
How many fucking times in a row do we need a face versus face for the world title?
I know.
Like,
I agree.
Like, I'm trying to think this through at the top of my head. Going back to Dynamite Grand Slam when they had the tournament final.
Mm-hmm.
You had Mox and Danielson.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Mox and Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
We just had Mox and Penta.
Mm-hmm. Even going back before that, you had Mox versus Punk. You had Punk versus Hangman.
Right.
Like, the last time you actually had fucking babyface versus heel for this title was back when it was fucking Hangman versus Cole. And that was at Easter.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's AEW. Nothing fucking makes sense. I don't know why I try to make sense of anything. So we get to Rampage. Hang on. Wait for it. Hang on. We're going to provide some photographic evidence for the crowd watching the visual side of this show. Provide a few bits of insight. Let's provide some ringside insight.
that was from Shell.
Then we'll provide other insight from here.
That was from my friend Scott.
And here.
That was from my friend Scott.
And here.
That was also Scotty. Now, hold off on that picture for a second. Now, if you notice, so that is ringside, and that is during Rampage. Notice 4 rows in, and that's the camera. That's the side that fucking the camera faces. You see that entire empty fucking row 4 rows in?
Yes, I do.
That's fucking pathetic.
Then we'll go to this.
Yep.
And then we get to the final big shot. There we go.
Yep. So to set up the story for this, so I had a few friends that were at this. So my friend Scotty Beams, he actually decided last minute to go. He got his tickets on SeatGeek for $1 a piece.
Pretty cool.
And so he went with the family to go see it. Now, Shell and Carol went. They bought tickets off of Ticketmaster for $21 a piece. And when Rampage was starting, they got upgraded to 3rd row for $21. Why? Because they needed to fill seats, because they got put right, because Mox walked right by Shell. Like, the spot where Mox was coming in to hop the barricade to get in was right next to Shell and Carol.
Did she faint?
She took a picture and went, "Oh my God, I spotted a lunatic fringe of the wild," or some shit like that. But yeah, we fully expected Shell to not come home.
I bet Renee would have been happy with that.
But yeah, they got upgraded to 3rd row to fill seats. Basically, everyone who was on the lower level got smushed in for camera view. Which is why my buddy Scott, unfortunately, my buddy Scott was on the 2nd tier, and he didn't get the upgrade. I told him to keep an eye out for upgrades, but he was actually filling me in on all the dark matches that got filmed too. Amazingly enough, you remember the last time they were in Bridgeport, I complained about how there were no Connecticut people working the dark matches.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, the Rampage, because no one goes to Rampage. Apparently that was filled with Connecticut locals who worked the dark matches. I know Waves and Curls got a tag team match. Trying to think who, Lucas Chase, but obviously he was going to be there because he's one of Dustin's kids anyways. And Little Mean Kathleen from Mass, who apparently, like Scott said, it was legit, but I'm figuring now, because this has happened on numerous occasions, this is Athena's new gimmick, is her stiffing the shit out of local talents on Dark. That is her new gimmick, because apparently she kicked the ever-loving shit out of Little Mean Kathleen on Dark, which will be airing tonight.
That's nice.
Yeah. He's like, no, dude, it was legit. I'm like, well, no, because they already did the thing where she did that once, and they said like, oh no, everything was fine. So I'm guessing this is part of the new gimmick.
Dick.
Yeah.
Dick.
Oh, and also because I had someone there who officially watched the filming of Dark, and I didn't make the graphic for you yet, but Rampage, Dynamite, Dark, all done this week. First week of Willow watch. You know where Willow Nightingale was?
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found. Supposedly, she's doing a couple of dates in Japan. Supposedly. But 1 week after the big "we signed Willow Nightingale" announcement, nowhere.
Well, she was working dates in Japan this week.
Okay.
I did see that on her Twitter.
Okay.
But I don't know if it was... Well, because of the time change, she probably did have to fly out during the week, actually, just to try and get adjusted. Because I know that she had shows out there would have been Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So she could have been at Dynamite.
Maybe. Depends on when her flights were booked. But I get
or
your
filming
point.
Dark Elevation.
Right. But
because I think the way they're doing, because I had a debate with Shell about this because she didn't think that they were filming Dark before Rampage until she was actually there. Mm-hmm. I think the way they're doing it with the live Rampages now is they're filming Dark before Rampage and they're filming Dark Elevation before Dynamite.
By the way, involving Dark Elevation, because you mentioned it for tonight, that includes Diamante against Madison Rain, Danhausen against QT Marshall, and then Orange Cassidy, Trent, and fuckface, Chuck Taylor. 6-man tag against...
Okay, so I forgot. Dark Elevation airs on Mondays and Dark airs on what? Tuesdays or Wednesdays? Tuesdays. Okay, so all the Connecticut people will be on tomorrow night.
Anthony Young, Victor Andrews, and Patton, whoever that is. That's who's facing Cassidy and the Best Friends.
Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find...
But Scott said there was like 10 matches filmed for Dark in like an hour.
Lovely.
He was sitting there. He was like, dude, these Dark matches just keep fucking going.
Because they're like 5-minute squash matches, essentially.
Right. But it's like...
If that.
Yeah, and it's all like local talents that are getting used for. So it's like good on these local talents for getting a good payday, but don't expect anything to come out of it.
Right. Speaking of Rampage, now we'll get into that.
They fucking changed the fucking main event to the opening match and changed what it was.
So they closed Dynamite with Mox and then opened Rampage with Mox.
Right, because originally the main event of Rampage was supposed to be Mox and Wheeler, Claudio and Wheeler versus 2.0 was supposed to be the main event of Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
But according to them, Wheeler was double booked and was working the fucking New Japan Times Square show.
Yes.
So instead of just doing anything else like Claudio versus blah, blah, no, that they're like, oh, that's why Mox filled in and just faced Menard in a singles. No. They did Mox versus Menard. They announced it on Thursday because they were hoping it would garner more ticket sales because ticket sales were so fucking low for Rampage already. And they were like, maybe if we put the champ on the show, it'll draw in people. Now that might have worked if you had done it more than fucking 24 hours before the fucking show.
Yep. So Mox beat Menard. Then Stokely comes out with a promo afterwards and challenges Mox to face Lee Moriarty on Dynamite.
Yeah, Moriarty cut a stupid ass promo. And so now Mox is working again, defending the title again, or either defending the title or a title eliminator against Lee Moriarty, who hasn't been on TV in a match in God knows how long.
Right.
I think the last time I saw Lee Moriarty in a match was in like that random ass like 10-man tag against the Elite like a few months back where like everyone else didn't even get an intro. And it was like Lee Moriarty, the Varsity Blondes, and Brock Anderson.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah.
Then just completely in fucking passing in a transition into commercial break, they announced a world title eliminator tournament.
a blank bracket.
Yep.
There's no names.
Because they're going to gradually unveil who's in the bracket as we go along. And the finals of this tournament will take place at Full Gear.
No. Oh, yeah. See,
and whoever wins the tournament.
Here's what's really fucked up. The finals of the tournament are on a pay-per-view, and it's for a title shot that's going to happen on free TV.
Correct. It's going to happen on Dynamite. Winter is coming. I can't remember on the top of my head when that special is.
End of December.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to remember, like, let me see here. I know it's...
Because they do Winter is Coming every year because that was the show where Sting debuted.
Right. It's going to be... Oh, it's during their Texas... Right, because they're in Texas all December, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they're doing a Winter is Coming special in a place that doesn't
have winter.
Once a year. That's cool. Garland, Texas is where that show is going to be, and it's going to be... it's actually a Dynamite Rampage doubleheader, so they're pre-taping Rampage after Dynamite that night. That's going to be December the 14th for those of you keeping track.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the Dynamite after Final Battle, by the way.
But they announced the first competitor of the tournament,
which is Dante Martin. Then Keith Lee beats Serpentico in one move.
Yep. Because it wasn't about the match, it was about what happened after the match.
Right. So Keith Lee's about to get interviewed. The Acclaimed confronts Keith Lee, saying they don't know where Daddy Ass is. Then Keith Lee says, well, I haven't seen Swerve most of the day either. Then they show
Swerve is a serial killer.
Screen. Yep, Swerve's on the big screen. Apparently has Billy Gunn hostage. And by the end of it, basically, he takes pliers and he's fucking up Daddy Ass's hands.
They're not even like, they were like pipe wrench pliers. Like
I know.
It didn't even fit.
Dude, why are you trying to talk sense to me? I know.
And then they go back to the ring and Keith's standing there like, duh.
Right. Like, basically a what the fuck face.
So basically it's going on. What we're saying the whole time is that this is going to lead to Swerve and Our Glory breaking up and Keith Lee and Swerve having a fucking blow-off match between them, and then we'll never see either of them again.
Well, one of their contracts run out. That's the key thing.
Not for a while.
So I wouldn't rule out seeing. Well, never mind. Anyways, so then they replayed that JAS promo from Dynamite that you mentioned that had the audio issues.
Mm-hmm.
They replayed and actually had decent audio finally. Then Ty Mello beats Madison Rain because that's the victory everybody wanted to see her get. Then we get Ethan Page backstage with Lexi Nair talking about attacking MJF on Dynamite earlier in the week, and then announces he's the second person entering the Eliminator tournament. And then the main event, Wardlow retains over Matt Taven. Bennett attacks after the match. Then Samoa Joe comes to make the save. And then, stop if this makes sense. Powerhouse Hobbs is walking down to the ring to attack Wardlow and Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucking embassy jumps in to attack him as well.
Mm-hmm. Because the embassy has unfinished business with Wardlow. So therefore, they wanted to get back at them after this bullshit with the Kingdom. Because they only brought the Kingdom in because they could. And now they have no plans for them.
But
except for maybe having them face FTR for the ROH belts in a month.
That's not even the big question out of this. Where the fuck does Hobbs factor into the embassy?
He doesn't. Hobbs was coming down to face Wardlow in the embassy. Basically, like, he's not part of it. They're basically setting up Hobbs versus Wardlow for the TNT title.
I understand that. That makes sense. I just don't understand why they had to have the embassy there at all.
Because we can't have Wardlow and Joe look weak by having Powerhouse Hobbs take out both of them.
Who said he had to take them out?
The booker that books using action figures.
They can't just face off?
No. No one wants to see a face-off, bro. Everyone wants to see action.
Right, because having Wheeler and Claudio come out and stand at the top of the stage after the fucking FTR won the Ring of Honor tag title match against the Briscoes 2 out of 3 falls. That was okay.
But that was Ring of Honor. That wasn't AEW. Dude, I'm not defending this at all. I'm just telling you, this is the mentality of the fuckwit snorting the coke who's booking the shit.
Okay. All right. So I have what's been announced so far for Dynamite. Before I get to that, though, and discuss how fucking stupid some of that stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see who's going to be a guest commentator for the Rampage show live from a Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City this Friday night?
Yep. Hold on, turn up. This is the best part.
Former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, former ear biter of the world, former I'm gonna eat your children quarter of the world,
the male Selena Nichols,
lover of Phil Collins, lover of pigeons round the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
He's gonna pull a Selena again.
And apparently it's going to be more than just one appearance, and this is just the beginning of them. We'll see, I guess.
He's going to pull a Selena. He'll fall asleep. Okay, so you remember the infamous last time Tyson was on this shit and how they got the shot of him asleep at ringside?
You're a dick.
No, so...
He's going to be a commentator. There's no way for him to sleep.
Oh, this is where I differ with you. Because you see, this is why I mentioned my old commentary partner, Selena Nichols.
Commentary.
Listen. Back in the day, my old commentary partner, Selena Nichols. Hold on. So back in the day, my commentary partner was Cece LaSalle. When Cece could not be there, my commentary partner was Selena Nichols. Now I love Selena to death. But however, there was one event where she was working with me, where it was second to the main event, and it was Antonio Thomas versus Slick Wagner Brown, and I'm the heel color guy, and she's supposed to be doing play-by-play, and all of a sudden I realize I'm talking alone because I turn and Selena flat out fell asleep doing commentary.
That's hard. You gotta try to make that happen.
She was very exhausted. This is after she had newly become a mother and such. So, like, her sleep schedule was still cut, but it was just, we joke about it to this day. We're like, anytime, like, we would dog on Slick forever. Like, dude, you put people to sleep.
You booked a brand new mother to do commentary with you when that's poor booking on your part.
She wasn't brand new. The kid was like a year old, not a year old, but he was toddler.
Oh,
but still, like,
fuck.
It's just like, I love Selena to death. I always will. But that stunning, sterling point in my career of having to call a match alone on the fly because my commentary partner fell asleep.
Good job.
So the first time when I saw Mike Tyson and fall asleep, I'm like, oh, look, Mike Selena Nichols.
All right, so
he can fall asleep on commentary.
Anyways, Dynamite this week. Here's the rundown I have so far. Apparently they're gonna have a birthday bash for Billy Gunn, so he better come out with fucked up hands, or I'm not gonna be believing anything anymore.
Either that, or they're gonna try to do the birthday bash, and they're gonna cut to Swerve kidnapping him again.
We're gonna have Darby Allin against Jay Lethal 1-on-1. Somehow we're gonna have a TBS title match with the champion not having their title belt. Sure,
but did you see who she's defending against?
Everyone's problem, Marina Shafir. Fuck me.
See, that's how they're gonna do it because Marina's in the same stable as Nyla. So
I get it. Thank you. I get it. It's not really a fucking stable. It's a fucking tag team with a manager. It's not stable.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad.
Apparently there's going to be a sit down Renee's gonna have a sit down with Saray and Britt. Good luck with that. Jericho defended the ROH World Title against a former Ring of Honor champion, which has not been revealed yet.
I'm guessing Cole Cabana.
The AEW World Title Eliminator match, Mox against Moriarty. And then the All-Atlantic Triple Threat title match I mentioned earlier, Cassidy defending against Luchasaurus and Rey Fenix. Which, not only that, they also got a special graphic, fuck all. And, hold on, it gets better. It gets better. There's a reward for whoever wins the match.
Oh, that's right, the dream match.
They've already announced that whoever wins the All-Atlantic Championship match this Wednesday night then gets to defend the belt against any opponent of their choosing Friday night in Atlantic City. Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because that makes sense.
Let's have Luchasaurus win and then decide to pick, I don't know,
Jungle
Zach
Boy.
Gowen to come out of retirement for that match. I don't fucking know. Jesus, that's so stupid. It's so stupid.
A side note on that Jade Cargill match, though. Which I thought was quite hilarious. So there's this fuckwit who has a podcast and does commentary for House of Glory. This fucking idiot JD. He's a big joke in the circles of those of us that can't stand AEW because he's one of the biggest AEW stands out there. Like everything WWE is bad and everything AEW is godlike. And I don't understand how the fuck this dude became a commentator in the first place. Like, I'm assuming, like, he just, like, kissed Red and Excel's asses and kept, like, getting coffee for everyone at the school and shit. And that's the only way he could possibly, like, be a commentator for House of Glory. Because the kid's fucking horrible. He has no experience in the business. So what happened was they announced the Cargill chauffeur match. And he wrote on Twitter, and he was like, please, God, no, not again. And Jade Cargill went off on him and basically said, I could hear you all the way from your mom's basement, yada, yada, yada. And then he was just like, I've always defended you. What the fuck? And Shafir and Jade were all like, fuck this fucking kid on Twitter. And I'm like, okay, number one, it's funny that you're putting him in this place, but at the same time, both of you are siding with each other when you're supposed to be facing each other on TV on Wednesday.
Still entertaining.
Yeah.
Eddie Hooser. I think that's it for the clusterfuck that is AEW. Do you have anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. All right, so before we get to the good that exists in the world known as WWE, let me just remind you about the fact that, hey, like I mentioned to start the show, it's getting fucking cold out.
Yep.
I went outside to pick up my niece after a half day of school today. It was fucking 40 degrees. I want my spring back. I want my spring back so much. But one thing we can do is make sure you have your heater, your furnace in good working order, and that can be done with our friends over at Johnstone Supply in Troy. You can ask them for any of the parts you might need to fix your furnace. All great brands, all great prices. Goodman, Fujitsu, Westinghouse, so on and so forth. Or if you just need a brand new heating system installed altogether, Johnstone Supply can hook you up with that as well. Talking to the guys at the store, George, who you've heard with Getting There with Guys numerous times, great guy. He'll be able to help you out, as well as Kev, James Bird, any of them be able to help you out to make sure that you are set up right to get through the colder parts of fall and the winter in the coming months. Give them a call, 518-272-5922, or visit Johnstone Supply at their brick and mortar location, 2600 6th Avenue in Troy. Don't be left out in the cold this winter. Check your furnace, get it fixed, or get a brand new heating system installed right now. by talking to our friends at Johnstone Supply. 518-272-5922. Visit them at 2600 6th Avenue in Detroit, or check them out online at johnstonesupply.com. We move on to WWE. We begin with Monday Night Raw. Why? Because we do things in chronological order here, because we actually make sense. So with Raw, basically, instead of doing whole play-by-play of results, I'll just kind of I'll scan through the results with my eye, and then we'll just talk about main programming storylines that seem to be happening right now, as we go along. So obviously, the beginning of the show, the main thing they focused on was everything involving the Judgment Day and the OC. Can somebody explain to me why we allowed Blanket to call himself the new Eddie Guerrero?
No, okay. He started that, but then he ripped off a line from fucking Brockmire.
Who?
The show Brock. You never watched the show Brockmire?
No.
You should go back. It's Hank Azaria. He plays an alcoholic baseball announcer.
Oh, that would be up my alley. Okay, cool.
It was a great fucking show. But there's a part that there was a famous scene in Brockmire where he is auditioning to do play-by-play for a major league team, that the major league of the minor league team that he's been calling. And he's in there against this like Indian guy who like all of a sudden just pops out and does a whole bunch of like great shit. And he turns afterwards, he goes, "Wow, you're like a brown Joe Buck." And he turns to Hank Azaria and he goes, "No, Joe Buck is a white me."
Yes.
And that was like the most famous line from the fucking show. So they ripped off fucking Brockmire with Dominic going, "No, Eddie Guerrero was his generation's Dominic Mysterio."
I wonder if anybody's actually watched that show. Well, maybe. We'll see. Brockmire. I'm looking for it in his Oh, it's a recent show too. Yeah, I should look that up. Anyways, so yeah. Did you like the James Ellsworth reference made?
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. So obviously we have this all going on. We got Rhea slamming Luke Gallows now. Sure. So Finn beats Carl Anderson 1-on-1, and then throughout so basically the moral of the story is throughout the show is that they're really trying to set up this whole 6-man tag going on at Crown Jewel between Judgment Day and the OC. But number two, they're also showing that the OC is admitting a Rhea problem. So obviously, we'll see if anything happens tonight to help address that problem. But the question becomes, who could help them address their Rhea problem? Any suggestions?
Not quite sure. I'm not sure if they're going to go with someone existing or they're going to go with someone new.
Well, then the question becomes: is this a one-off match they're having at Crown Jewel, or is this something they're going to push through the end of the year?
I doubt they're going to push it at the end of the year, but if it's so have they officially said that they're going? So it's going to be someone to be in their corner at Crown Jewel to.
I mean, I know they pretty much have booked a 6-man.
They booked the 6-man, but if they need someone against Rhea, then they need some. See here, because here's the thing: like
they haven't announced anybody that's going to that somebody's going to be in their corner, but it would just make sense at this point with the way they've been progressing the story, and the big hanging fruit that they've been dealing with is the numbers problem with Rhea being their 4th.
Right.
I just don't. I can't think of anyone because I'm trying to think. I might have an idea if you want, I mean, it's not a stretch per se. It would be it can be a stretch, but not really. I think one way you can connect what just happened with the Judgment Day to this with the OC, you could bring in Beth if she's willing to do the flight.
Yeah, that's my guess.
That's the only thing that really would make any sense to me, honestly. Because I can't think of anyone else that's on the rosters now that would make any sense. The only thing I can think of is Beth, really.
Yeah.
I can't even think of anybody that would pull it from NXT for one day. Like nothing's really clicking in my head.
Right.
For that. So, unless you want to go super random and think of somebody that kind of goes with the whole reckless abandon kind of idea and maybe go Shotzi, but that's not really a good mix, I don't think.
Especially for Saudi. That's my problem is if they're going to try to pull this off in Saudi, then you got to figure these people, the women have to be covered head to toe. And
right.
I don't see Shotzi doing it.
Sure. Plus, what's also going to be interesting is the fact aren't they on tour right now in Europe?
Are they?
They got. I think they had I know that some of the roster was in Mexico this weekend. I'm pretty sure they went on a European tour starting this weekend. But anyways, well, I don't know. Hopefully, we get some more answers to that tonight on Raw. About if there's going to be a corner person for the OC. All this shit with Gargano and Miz and Loomis.
No clue.
Do we have the slightest thought of what the fuck is going on with this?
I don't like.
Johnny keeps starting to blow the whistle on something. Miz says
right, like something like the only thing I can guess is like Loomis was supposed to get a fucking job years ago, and Miz stopped it from happening somehow. Is the only
Loomis
thing I
was
can think
supposed
of.
to be the spot that Ciampa was in, or something like that.
Yeah, like that because they mentioned Ciampa and mentioned he's injured, and Johnny's like, I talked to Tommaso and you didn't. Like, yeah, the only other thing that I can think like, and honestly, that might make sense is the only thing that I could think of that because it's Trips doing it, and Trips really wants to keep continuing people from NXT with their momentum going up to the main roster instead of just completely repackaging them or whatever. Mm-hmm. What they could do is, and would be smart enough, is Miz was worried about Index being the new it couple, so Miz got Dexter fired to prevent that from happening. And then when Trips took control, he hired Dexter back, and now Dexter wants revenge because him and Indy are the new it couple.
Right. Which is interesting, though, because...
And Johnny would know that because he was in with Indy and Dexter.
Right. Which is interesting because they never, aside from the one random appearance he made on NXT where he was getting arrested, they haven't really gone back to the whole Indy thing at all since then.
Right.
So, yeah, that I could see that. That could be...
Yeah.
That would actually make sense. We'll just put that out there. That would actually make sense.
Yeah.
But obviously more goes on. I don't think they put together, have they?
What?
I was trying to think if they had booked a match between them for Crown Jewel. They have not, so I'm assuming that's not going to happen. Next big thing. So are we heading towards... everything right now just screams like they don't have anything immediate for Riddle right now.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to kind of have him and Rollins go their own separate ways.
Right.
Although it seems like Riddle wants in on the U.S. title picture, kind of, sort of, with Rollins being the champ now. But at the same time, they're trying to, They're
trying to start building that for Rollins and Elias.
Possibly. Here, see, right now the U.S. title picture feels a little muddled in a way.
Agreed.
Because Seth has won the belt.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like you have You have 3 contenders without a contender.
Yeah.
Well, contenders in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
You have Elias, who I don't believe has wrestled a match yet since coming back.
Not yet.
So it's been 2 weeks back on TV, no match. This will be week 3 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Riddle has been doing the whole bongo shit with Elias and hasn't wrestled the last couple weeks. Wait, I'm trying to think. Did he wrestle last week? I'm trying to remember. Hold on.
He had the match against Rollins.
Well, he didn't wrestle this past week. So
Right.
that was the week before.
Right.
Right. So he had the U.S. title match. Right. He had the U.S. title match 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then all this shit with right, because Ali came out after the match. So,
and the only reason they shoved Ali in there is so they can do Ali and Seth at Crown Jewel, so they have Muslim representation on the show.
Right. Which, by the way, has not been officially booked yet.
They'll book it tonight.
So I guess we'll kind of wait and see on that. I don't know. The U.S. title picture just seems very muddled right now. I don't know.
It does. Well, that's the problem with Crown Jewel is every time Crown Jewel comes around, you got to shove some people in at the behest of the Saudi prince.
Damage control stuff right now. With Bianca, obviously Asuka and Alexa were not on TV last week. They're really trying to play up the fact that damage control messed them up.
Mm-hmm.
My suspicion at this point, because they've already decided to book Bianca and Bayley as last woman standing for Saudi on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
My suspicion, and I could be totally wrong on this one, we don't have Asuka and Alexa on TV again tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But they help even the odds on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because you'd assume Dakota and Io will be there.
Mm-hmm.
So my suspicion is we go another Raw without them on TV, but then they show up on Saturday to help even the odds during the last woman standing match.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, possibly, we get a step closer to figuring out
War Games.
What we're doing with War Games, because obviously Candice is there on the babyface side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get an answer as to who would stand by damage control? Plus, now we have to factor in what the fuck's going on with Nikki Cross, since she returned at the end of Raw last week, and not just attacked Bianca, but also attacked Bayley. Stop it.
Good
Stop
Lord.
it. You're married. Stop.
Good Lord.
You okay over
there?
there?
So is she, your point?
Oh, sure. Yeah, she is.
I'm her type.
Physically, yes, you're correct. That means that means something else about you. I don't need you taking your shirt off. Please don't show me. Christ, now I'm all sidetracked. So we had Nikki attack not Bayley, Bianca during the match, which led to Bayley getting the pinfall. Then she attacks Bayley after the pinfall to go off the air.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got the question of, is she aligning herself with anyone, or is she going to be the awkward third wheel that just throws a wrench into every fucking thing that goes on at this point?
I think it's going to be completely unhinged Nikki Cross like she used to be.
Thank you, God. There is a God. What else we got here for Raw? What do we make of the JBL Baron Corbin stuff so far?
I mean, JBL's obviously trying to help get this kid over, and it needs a few more weeks to hash out.
Let me ask you a question at this point. Did it seem necessary to you for the evolution of Baron Corbin?
He needed something. He needed a fresh coat of paint.
Paint a coat.
Oh my God, I completely forgot to mention the fucking Jericho analogy. Remember when I missed you the other day? I said I figured out Jericho?
Go ahead.
Since he has the new booking ability, how he's Bob Holly. Give me the belt! And then what? Then I beat everyone!
Yeah.
Jericho's Bob Holly.
Yeah.
But Corbin, he definitely needed something, and I mean, and he's, talking hasn't always been his strong point, so having JBL in his corner does help. it's weird because it's like they started him off and it's like, okay, and then it's like they fed him Gargano. I wouldn't have fed him Gargano.
Yeah, that seemed like a very odd pairing.
Like you feed him someone else to start. Like because Gargano's in the middle of something.
Ali.
Yeah, right. No, but like I mean, there's other people on the fucking roster that aren't being used completely. I mean, especially with freaking like, I mean, you could have fed him R-Truth.
True. So I was sticking him in the middle of all the shit with Miz and Gargano. Yeah, that was
Dude, Truth. Oh god, I was kind of sad that Truth didn't appear on SmackDown because I was hoping he was going to do the hat trick this week.
That would have been pretty good.
But Truth was gold on Raw. I want the truth. Boom. What's up?
Can we make Braun versus Omos this Saturday? Loser leaves town.
I wish.
Just because I know how that's going to go.
I mean, granted,
we know how it's go.
It's going to be terrible, but at least it's like an out of town preview. You know, you're going to be able to see this way people are going to take a look and be like, we can't have this go any further because Omos is terrible. Like this experiment should end.
By the way, I'm an asshole. I just realized in my results that Elias did have a match this past week. He beat Chad Gable.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then Riddle came in for the save.
Yeah, that's right.
Jumped in. I forgot about that.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot to.
And then the only other thing from Raw really worth talking about, we'll save until we get to Crown Jewel for Saturday.
Yeah.
NXT.
Yeah. Sean can't book.
Who was the agent for this match? Somebody talk to me. Who was the agent for this match?
Which match?
I have no problem with Kate and Katana retaining. That's not my issue with the match. Why are we doing the ref missed the tag thing? Why? Like, what's the like?
Yeah.
I know it's a face versus face match. You're trying to save face for whoever loses, but
well, plus they're sowing the seeds of Zoe turning heel.
Thank God.
But that leaves ass bitch as the baby face, and no. But yeah, because the whole thing, because if you noted, like watching it, once they went to do the reversal, you saw Zoe like getting in ass bitch's face, like, what the hell is your issue? And then of course after they lost, then it shows in the back, it's like, oh well, we get a rematch next week, and Zoe's like, you need to pay attention, you should have known that it wasn't the legal person, blah 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 blah. And it's basically like Zoe trying to play the veteran, which is laughable.
Well, in this case it's true.
Yeah, but I mean still, like,
you're right.
They're both green.
You're right.
And it's just they need to stop pushing ass bitch. She is the fucking worst.
So between the packages they played during the show and then the way NXT ended, I'm assuming we're moving towards a JD Ilya blow off at the December special.
They fucking better, because they fucking buried Ilya.
So JD beats Ilya. I know we're skipping to the main event, but it's in order.
Fucking ridiculous.
So JD beats Ilya by ref stoppage, and then Ilya gets stretchered out to end the show.
Like, this is the dude who defeated the unstoppable Walter.
Yep.
And granted, the first time he faced Walter, it was ref stoppage because Walter fucking choked him out, which made sense.
Because it's Walter.
Right, but here you have JD who literally, like, Ilya took the pin in the 3-way, and then fucking 3 days later, fucking passes out in a fucking submission move and gets stretchered out. Like, I understand Sean has a hard on for Jordan Devlin because he was fucking Finn's kid, but you don't bury fucking Dragunov doing it.
Agreed.
Like, and I don't use the term burial loosely, because, like, I always say, like, if you're on TV and you're getting paid, you're not getting buried. But there are certain times where a burial takes place, and this was a fucking burial.
Where does Dijak fit when he actually makes his return?
He's going to take out Braun. He's going to be the big bad heel. Because unfortunately, we're going to feed Apollo Crews to Braun in December.
You think that's where we're going with this?
Yes. We're going to have babyface versus babyface.
Because that's exactly what we fucking need.
We're going to feed him to Braun, and then Dijak's going to take him out.
Or do you... I'll save that idea for another time. Not worth discussing now.
Okay.
Wesley...
comes out and does a thank you speech.
Right.
See, there was a positive, though. I was glad that Wesley came out, gave the thank you speech, and was not interrupted by Mello, which means Mello is moving on to better things.
Right. No Mello on the show, so
if they're not gonna put him against Braun, bring him to the fucking main roster. It's time.
Yeah. So we'll stay tuned on that one. But Wesley and Waller have their segments. Sure.
And we get our truth for the second time in a week.
Thinks it's Halloween Havoc, and they're like, dude, that was 3 days ago.
Oh, dog, you won! Oh, congratulations! Hey, he didn't win. Oh!
God.
But hey, fucking truth gets to carry Waller this week now.
Yeah. Shotzi beat Slash Bitch, thank God.
Oh.
Or what do you call her?
Not Wendy Williams.
Thank you. Then we get a Creed Brothers in-ring promo. Damon Kemp appears on the screen, says he isn't medically cleared for the 5 minutes with Brutus. Yeah. And then your new favorite tag team attacks the Creeds. Sangha and Veer Mahan.
I thought they were going to make them baby faces.
No, apparently not.
I mean, I'll still take Sangha and Veer, but dude, why?
Then Toxic Attraction announced they're going to have a 1-year championship celebration for Mandy Rose this coming week on NXT. Pretty Deadly retains their tag titles over Blade and Inoue,
which was a good match.
Yes,
Blade and Inoue have advanced leaps and bounds, and they continue on this path. They will be something special.
We'll skip this one segment for now because I want to save that for last. Sol Ruka and Indy wins, and they both get laid out by Elektra Lopez.
Yep, because La Madrina is back. No, Elektra Lopez got left behind because she's fucking awful.
She didn't even know how to do a beatdown right, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
This distorted call recording thing.
NXT signed Soundwave. Soundwave is gonna be the NXT champion. That's what it fucking sounded like.
Scripts?
Yeah, scripts. It was Soundwave. Soundwave called in and left a voicemail.
That's awful.
Go back and listen to it.
Then we get a Chase U vignette. Bodie's missing. Duke walks in late saying he was looking for Bodie. We all know where this is going eventually.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now we get to the one segment everyone seems to be talking about. And this is the last thing we're going to discuss involving NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So Schism comes out. There's a platform in the ring. Gacy and the other two.
The Dyad.
Yeah, the Dyad. They're standing on it. They have the 4th member ready to be unveiled. Oh, they all had the same masks to start off. And then the dudes revealed theirs.
Right. Just take off your mask and reveal your true self.
Correct.
Like typical cult stuff, which is good. I liked it. It was solid promo-wise.
So then we get to the end of it to reveal the 4th member that's just joined them. It's a female.
Mm-hmm.
Ava Raine.
Yeehaw.
Real life Simone Johnson, daughter of Dwayne Johnson. She has made her official debut.
Yep.
Not half bad with the little bit she said at the end.
Yeah.
It was decent. So now the car's been turned on. Let's see how far she can drive this car.
Right. I mean, she's been put in a decent position. She's in a stable with a solid tag team and a guy that can talk his fucking head off.
Mm-hmm.
Who and all three of them have a good wealth of in-ring experience. It's just good for her. And like, because like I remember when she first popped up on the house shows, people were complaining about her name and how she was like, well, it's like because they're trying to differentiate her from being the Rock's daughter. Because if you come out and say this is Simone Johnson, this is the Rock's daughter, like that's just too much to live up to in your first fucking outing. Go ahead.
This is WWE recognizing 25 years later that they fucked themselves the first year or so. They had Dwayne working under the name Rocky Maivia.
Right, exactly.
And constantly going back to the fact that he was Rocky Johnson's son and High Chief Peter Maivia's grandson.
The blue chipper.
Yes. And this right here, this is the future. This is going to be a blue chipper.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's all Jay Ross kept fucking saying at Survivor Series 96.
Yep.
Like, they've learned the error of their ways since then.
Exactly. And it's, especially because this is a fourth generation talent. This is unbroken ground. Like they need to make sure they do this correctly. And like, I mean, it worked for Charlotte to be like, this is Ric Flair's daughter, but it's a different ball game. And to put this girl in this spot and keep her humble is a good thing, no matter. And so, because if they had brought her out and been like, this is the, blah, 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 this is the Rock's daughter and push her to the moon, people would have screamed nepotism. Right. But people are complaining that she's like in this stupid stable that's Judgment Day light. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, it's
completely different.
Right. Exactly. And it's giving her a chance to have her own voice for right now. And it's good to keep her protected because now she's not out there just getting thrown to the wolves as a singles person. You've got her in a heel stable where she can cover up herself in case she screws up in the ring with some dirty heel tactics.
She's not coming out doing cartwheels and
exactly.
Yeah. No, it's the right way to package her to start off. And now it's just a matter of seeing where she grows from there.
Right, exactly.
All right, moving on to SmackDown. Brutes beat Sammy and Solo, which helps set up what's going to happen at Crown Jewel. We'll get to that later. Roman comes out after the match, and we get quite possibly the best segment SmackDown's produced this year. So while Roman's coming to the ring, they go to break. They come back. Bloodline's all in the ring, including Heyman. And so Roman says, you want to be children, we're going to treat you like children, referring to Sammy and Jay. And he basically has Festivus come 2 months early and says, let's have an airing of the grievances. With no on the table. They didn't have a Festivus poll, but they treated it like Festivus. And so Sammy tries to make peace. He says, whatever I did wrong, I'm sorry. And seems very cordial about it to Jay. Jay basically says, fuck this shit. And then Sammy's like, what the fuck? I'm just trying to make the peace, blah, 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 blah. And then Sammy says something on the lines of, this is what the tribal chief wants. And Jay says, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says.
And boom.
And Roman gets pissed. And does a 5-mile stare through Jay's soul. Sammy, though, still trying to be the peacemaker, says Jay just has been
very oozy lately. And we get Jimmy Fallon in 1997 SNL level of character break.
Yes. Roman breaks a little bit. Jay keeps breaking in and out. You can see Jimmy in the background. He's breaking character. He can't help it. I can't.
Solo was fucking cracking. Everyone was cracking up.
Yeah. So then Roman takes the mic. And he says, no, come here. Because Roman's about to start talking, and Jay he tries to turn away. Like, no, come here. Face the music. Come on. Face the hard cam, jerk off. And then Roman says if Jay can't find his Usi again, he's going to do something Jay don't like and take the word honorary away from Sammy and make him a full-blown Us. And change his name to Sammy Uso.
That they need to make that shirt. They need to make a full-blown Us shirt. That is money on the table right there that needs to be taken.
God almighty. And then Heyman ends the segment by reminding people the title match in Riyadh and counts them into break.
Right. Heyman turns into a walking commercial. It is commercial in 3, 2, 1.
Right. Like he's in the fucking production truck counting them in. Jesus. Then we come back with another Viking Raiders vignette with Sarah in it.
Good production.
Can they just come back already? God damn.
They want to make sure that Ray Rowe is his foot is 100%.
Please, he'd be the kind that would limp out there with a fucking knee-high cast if he had to, and just
right. But they already had. But the thing is, they already had to take time off to make sure Hanson was okay. Like they want to do this right. But the production value of these vignettes is dynamite.
Very good. Then New Day beats Maximum Male Models in less than 4 minutes. Sure, whatever. Sonya Deville, this whole Sonya Deville, Liv Morgan shit, like
it needs to stop.
Well, it's gonna stop because they're having a no DQ match on SmackDown this week.
Lazy booking.
Then we got a Braun pre-tape about Omos at Crown Jewel. Yay. Then we get to the confusing moment of the night. So Ronda comes out looking stupid as usual with her stupid fucking blue lightning fucking thing on her face, and it just looks stupid. Stupid. Anyways, I don't think there's been a single makeup look Ronda's ever done since being in WWE that's looked good. But I digress. She comes out, she says, all right, let's fucking get the show on the road. And who's coming out to face my open challenge for the title? Emma?
Yeah.
Dressed as Tennille Dashwood?
At least she wasn't dressed as fucking Top Gun, Emma.
Even Ronda, they pan back to Ronda.
Ronda was doing the Eva dance.
Ronda's doing the fucking thing. And I'm like, well, you're basically showcasing what we're all kind of thinking right now. Because it was the name Emma without the Emma music, dressed as Tennille Dashwood. It was all a, I don't know. It was just I don't know. That's all I got. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I mean, I could see obviously Trips brought her back because she was one of the original NXT girls.
I don't have a problem with her coming back.
It's just weird how they brought her out. Just like, it's like, here's the heel Emma music, but it's babyface Emma. And it's just kind of there.
All right. Like, here, have fun.
Like, they obviously got to figure out something to do with her. But I mean, I'm happy she's back.
They're like, here, go try to get 8 to 10 out of useless Ronda. Have fun. Obviously, Ronda wins and retains. I'll be honest, I didn't catch what this whole backstage thing was with Jay and Heyman.
Sammy taking him to Waffle House.
Oh, okay, sure.
He broke them all again.
Yeah. Then after break, we get Ronda, Shayna, and Natty interacting backstage. Natty says Ronda's lucky she didn't answer the challenge herself, and then Shayna chokes out Natty.
Like, yeah, your tag partner just now you're a babyface. Have fun. Bye.
Okay, sure, great. Okay, Natty flips more than Big Show, so I guess it makes sense. So we get Legato coming out for their 6-man tag. Hit Row comes out with B-Fab.
I was really hoping we were going to get another call up in this match.
Oh, B-Fab made reference to the Rising Sun, and if that didn't give it away, then I don't know what did. Because then Shinsuke comes out. So Hit Row and Shinsuke Nakamura beat Legato in 6-man tag action.
I mean, at
And
least,
yeah,
but you know something? If I get a Nakamura versus Santos feud out of this, I'll be happy.
I can live with that.
Yeah,
I can live with that.
yeah.
Then we get Heyman and Roman in the dressing room. Heyman decides to try and show some Logan Paul boxing training to Roman.
Yeah.
And then, okay. Then he tells Roman he needs one lucky shot and that Logan has metal pins in his hand from breaking it before in boxing.
Turn Logan Paul into Lex Luger.
Essentially. And then he decides to accidentally compare Logan Paul to Brock Lesnar because Brock won his UFC heavyweight title in his third match ever in UFC, and this is Logan Paul's third match ever in WWE. And yeah, you can imagine the look that Roman gave him, and Paul said, "Toodles."
Yep.
Stupid. And we get LA Knight attempting to do a backstage interview. He's interrupted by Ricochet, and
Yeah.
we're getting a Ricochet LA Knight undercard feud. Basically, it looks
We're
like
feeding Ricochet to LA Knight to get him over.
Then the main event match of the night was Cross beating Madcap Moss in less than 10 minutes.
It should have been less than 5.
Well,
he gave Madcap Moss way too much in that match.
well,
Madcap should have gotten crushed.
well, whatever. Then we get Rey Mysterio backstage talking to Kayla, gets interrupted and laid out by Imperium, which sets up the Intercontinental title match he's getting this Friday night on SmackDown.
Which I didn't understand, because the whole thing with Imperium is the mat is sacred. So why are you going to Pearl Harbor a guy?
Because reasons? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. By the way, Roman will be on Raw tonight, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to recognize. So yeah, they're doing a whole European tour right now. Like they're in Germany tonight and tomorrow night. They're in Switzerland Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
They must have pre-taped SmackDown after.
They must have.
Because there's no SmackDown event until next Friday in Indianapolis.
Right, and there's. I knew they weren't going to do they weren't going to film one this week, considering they have to be in Saudi. Mm-hmm. But I thought they would have filmed SmackDown like this week. But I guess they did a double shot last week, and just no one has released results.
Right, because Raw is already scheduled to come next week in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So that's done. What was I gonna do? Close the night. So Bray's in the ring doing a promo, similar to what he's been doing the last few weeks, as far as what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's starting to address his demons, and a figure appears on the big screen, eventually revealing himself as Uncle Howdy, saying, "You killed the world. You are a shell of who you once were. You are a liar. You'll never be able to hide from me." Now, there's something very specific I want to discuss about this.
Okay.
Because people still, to this day, on Halloween, Monday, October 31st, are trying to piece together who the fuck is representing all these different characters. Especially, they're trying to figure out who Uncle Howdy's going to be since his appearance on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're fucking stupid or deaf, but listen to the Uncle Howdy promo again. The bits that aren't distorted in audio are fucking Bray under the mask.
Right.
It's not anybody else. It's Bray's different personalities being reincarnated with Bray under these masks.
Yeah,
Stop trying to fucking pretend it's other people.
Which is hilarious because the other half of the internet are like, "Oh my god, the Wyatt Six are Bray's 6 personalities." And is that not what I fucking said when all you motherfuckers were like, "I wonder who's going to be the other 5 people in the Wyatt Six stable"? I told y'all this shit a month ago.
But it's just amazing how people they're still just reaching. It's like, stop. Pay attention. Mm-hmm. Don't just pay attention with your eyes. Pay attention with your fucking ears too.
I mean, I could see eventually them trying to pull a swerve and like have Uncle Howdy come out and face to face with Bray, and at that point it's someone different. But I don't see it.
Not right now.
I don't see it. Yeah.
Not right
now. Not in the immediate future.
Right. Oh, fucking people, man.
Especially because they still have to introduce, because they got the trademark for Uncle Howdy, and didn't they get a trademark for Uncle Harper too?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just hurts my brain.
I know.
These people on the internet really know how to hurt my fucking brain.
Uh-huh.
All right. Preview of Raw real quick tonight. Roman will be on the show. Brock returns to Raw to help set up his match with Lashley, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Cross against Bianca Belair in a non-title match tonight. Matt Riddle versus Otis in a trick-or-treat street fight tonight.
Oh, lazy booking.
Duh. That's all that's been pre-announced by WWE for Raw tonight. So, 2 segments and 2 matches is what they've announced. Crown Jewel. Let's jump into that real quick and run down the card that we have so far. 7 matches already, with the assumption of at least 1 or 2 more based on what we talked about from TV this past week. But here's the card as it stands. Let's go with the non-title matches first. 6-man tag action, the OC against the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley currently in the corner for Judgment Day, and maybe somebody in the corner of the OC. We'll find out more tonight, possibly. Brock versus Bobby Lashley. I need to request a favor. I need a favor. Not from you. I need a favor from WWE. Please don't keep this booked as a regular match. The last thing we need is Brock versus Bobby in a regular wrestling match. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see. Nobody wants to see Brock and Bobby in a 10-minute wrestling match. Let them fight. Don't make them wrestle. Please, for the love of God. Especially since there's no MVP and there's no Paul Heyman. Please just let them fight.
Imagine if they had made this a fight pit match.
Oh my God. Imagine trying to put Cormier between those two. Good luck. Fatty Cormier. No. Braun versus Omos. Please let that go less than 5. Please.
Oh God, please.
Please let that go less than 5. Steel cage match between Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm for that.
Yeah.
Last woman standing. Bianca defending the Raw Women's title against Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
I have this sneaking suspicion Bayley's going to win this one.
I don't know.
I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm leaning
I
towards
feel like
Bayley.
Trips is smart enough to not put all the titles on Damage Control.
I don't know. We'll see. Then we get the tag title match. Usos defending against the Brawling Brutes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a rematch technically from 3
Cardiff.
weeks ago?
No, yeah, 3 weeks now. I was thinking, yeah.
Roughly? It wasn't in Cardiff.
It was after Cardiff, yeah.
Because Cardiff was the 6-man Donnybrook with Imperium.
Right.
And then finally, what I'm assuming would be the main event. We'll see, depending on how Hunter decides to book the card.
Mm-hmm.
Roman against Logan Paul for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Deep sigh.
And we're probably going to be adding Seth defending the U.S. title against Ali.
Correct. Unless they're just going to randomly book Marseille and Mansois.
They are not. They are not.
I know. I was just speaking out loud. That's all I was doing. I was just offering the only other option they have right now, because you put Veer back in NXT. You haven't used.
Well, Veer is Indian. He's not.
True. Same with Ginger.
Middle Eastern.
So those are only 2 Middle
The
Eastern.
only 2 Muslims they had are Mansoor and Ali.
Oh yeah.
And Mansoor, number 1, doing the gimmick that he's doing will not fly, and number 2 is a heel, and that will not fly. Which is why they flipped Ali babyface after having him as a heel a couple of weeks ago.
And
they flipped him just for Crown Jewel.
And if I remember correctly, and this isn't really me going on a limb. I'm just trying to remember back in time. do not expect Sami Zayn at this show.
Nope, never.
That's for personal and political reasons. Vince
Because
was
he'll
very
get killed.
right. Vince was very accepting of it. Obviously, Hunter. If Vince was accepting of it, you know Hunter's going to be
right.
So don't expect. In fact, I think Sammy. My guess is Sammy is probably on tour right now in Europe. That'll be my assumption.
Definitely.
That would just make the most sense, honestly.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so real quick, let me just, in case any of you are confused about the WWE touring schedule and the way I was breaking it down, I apologize. So here's the rundown. Tonight they're in Dallas. They pre-taped SmackDown, so don't have to worry about that. They're in the midst of a European tour, which here's the thing, because WWE's social media was showing shit both from Mexico over the weekend and Europe when they started the European swing that they did. They're doing into this week. So I'm not positive who was where, except for I know for a fact Santos and LDF were in Mexico because they showed shit with Santos in Mexico.
Yeah.
I think Seth is on the European
He
tour.
is. And Seth dyed his hair blonde.
Oh.
You haven't seen the pictures?
No, I have not.
Oh yeah, complete blonde.
So I'm going to go on a limb and say don't expect Seth on the show tonight.
Maybe not.
Unless you're flying back for the one night and then put him right back out. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe you pre-taped him with something.
Maybe.
So tonight they're in Dallas. Saturday they're in Riyadh, excuse me, said that wrong. Then they come to Wilkes-Barre for Raw next Monday. And then they have no other shows booked, house shows or otherwise, until SmackDown Live next Friday night in Indianapolis.
Yep.
And by the way, keep an eye out, because depending on how the Major League Baseball World Series goes, this week's SmackDown may or may not be back on FS1 again.
Yeah.
Because right now the series is tied 1-1. Hypothetically, if either team wins the next 3 games straight tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday, they could shift SmackDown into Fox.
Yeah.
To fill the vacated time they had set aside for potential Game 6 of that series Friday night. Right. So keep an eye on that. So watch all the social medias for WWE or WWE on Fox, because they have a devoted account for WWE on Fox specifically. Yeah. So follow those 2 Twitter accounts if you do. Or
that could be another reason why they taped 2 episodes back to back this past week, because
of the World Series.
They would have known. Yeah, they would have known that it was going to be on FS1 again. Yeah.
Right. Then to fast forward, by the way, the touring schedule. They do go around the Northeast starting the 19th and 20th. They're in Allentown, PA, and State College, PA.
The 18th, they're in Hartford for SmackDown.
Where is that? Oh, that's in the top section of events near me. Yes, they're in Hartford for SmackDown the 18th.
I'm probably going to be there.
They're in my neck of the woods, Albany, for Monday Night Raw on the 21st. And that's the week before Survivor Series, because they're doing Providence that Friday night, the 25th, for SmackDown.
And then Survivor Series in Boston.
And Survivor Series in Boston the next night on Saturday, the 26th.
Tickets to go to Survivor Series.
Plus, Taker's doing his Dead Man one-man show.
The same night as ISW.
And this, so they have SmackDown. Let me get this straight. So SmackDown's live in Providence Friday night. They have the Undertaker one-man show the same night in Boston. And Jesus, I forgot that was Black Friday.
Yeah.
Fucking lovely.
Yep.
And then guess where they're going to be for Raw the Monday after Survivor Series?
New York.
To bring the show full circle, the Norfolk Scope.
Because they can fill the scope, unlike another company.
And that's how you bring the show full circle.
I wanted to talk one little bit about the Saudi show before we got off the WWE train.
Sure.
Because obviously every time one of the Saudi shows comes up, we get the whole blood money argument. the whole political thing, and I'm not specifically agreeing with it, or just like how do I put this? I understand people's qualms about them doing shows in Saudi Arabia because of the way certain things in the culture have happened and certain things that have happened politically there. I do understand that. However, most of the time when people complain about it, they're virtue signaling and be like, "Oh, I'm boycotting the show because it's Saudi Arabia." Like, it's yay. Like, you're not doing anything to solve it. And in all honesty, and this is not me defending it in any way, I just want to play a tiny bit of devil's advocate here for a moment. Just a tiny bit. I have a question. How is them doing a PLE in Saudi Arabia any different from them doing tours of Iraq in 1993? Iraq was our sworn enemy then. It was a Muslim dictatorship, and that was when Bret Hart was champion. How is it any different?
Got me.
Like, it's the Middle East, and if you're going to blame one country for its misgivings as far as culture and religion and all that, you've kind of got to do it for all of the countries in the Middle East.
You're right.
So I understand, but at the same time, don't get on a high horse about it. It's just the way I see it. You know, and saying you're not going to watch a paid show on Peacock doesn't. Yay! You're not causing any change.
Two quick things before we go. Number one, despite being moved to FS1, SmackDown was still the number 5 cable show on Friday night. Rampage, 378,000 viewers, number 27 in cable.
Oh, you couldn't beat FS1.
Yeah. Lastly, I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to bring up, but this is the last thing I want to bring up. A very interesting agreement was made.
Okay. Yeah.
New Year's Day in Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah is having a New Year's Day show in which the Great Muta, as he is basically going on his retirement tour, essentially, more or less, right now, is going to go one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes. Take my money.
Apparently, details show that Pro Wrestling Noah had Nakamura listed as someone they wanted to bring in immediately after the Great Muta made the decision to go on his retirement tour. Initial discussions between Noah and WWE didn't lead to terms being reached, but Noah was persistent even after Vince McMahon resigned as chairman and CEO, and the agreement was officially reached last Wednesday, the 26th.
Yes.
Shin actually was interviewed by Tokyo Sports and said, quote, "There were people in WWE who pushed me forward. It's nothing short of a miracle. Of course, I wanted to do it. It was an area that no one had ever stepped into, or rather, I opened a door that no one had been able to pry open." Ha ha ha.
There's your forbidden door, motherfucker.
It's a real forbidden door. The final match, by the way, obviously, as we've already announced previously, Great Muta's persona will be January the 22nd, so 3 weeks afterwards, in the Great Muta's final bye-bye event, as it's being called, in Yokohama, where he's going to team with Sting in a tag match of some sort. But obviously, Shin, that's a get for them.
Yes.
Which makes you wonder now, obviously, that Hunter's going to get talent whatever he wants to get talent from.
Yep.
Is there a possibility he could lean more into Noah from now on instead of New Japan because of everything New Japan's been doing recently with, well, doing in loose air quotes with AEW.
Yeah. I'm just hold on, I want to check something here. Oh fuck.
What?
I had a thought, but it's not going to happen. Because obviously Muda's retirement show is on January 22nd. The Rumble's on the 28th.
What were you trying to think of? Oh, Muda being a surprise entrant?
Yeah, but no, it's not going to happen.
No.
Oh well.
Yep. Sorry to kill that.
But yeah, I could see Hunter. I mean, Hunter's worked with Noah in the past. Remember, they sent over Kenta a few years ago when Kenta was still under contract.
Right. What was that for again?
I forget. It was some one-off event.
Yeah, I don't remember honestly.
But yeah, so I could see that, and like obviously, with all the shit happening with New Japan, I could see Hunter working with Noah. Again, we didn't even bring that up. How New Japan has threatened to strip Carl Anderson of the never openweight title because he's working Crown Jewel.
Okay.
Were you aware?
They
put out a press statement a few days ago.
I know they put out a release about him missing a show. Hang on, because I have it. Because I saw the headline. I didn't read.
Yeah, no, because he was double booked because he was supposed to defend the never openweight title against Hikuleo.
All right,
on Saturday.
All right, so here's the press release that I'm seeing that was actually released today.
Oh, new press release. Okay.
Despite extensive efforts by New Japan to negotiate with Carl Anderson regarding a scheduled match in Osaka at Battle Autumn on November 5th, New Japan officials have still been met with no response and have been left with no other option but to cancel the planned Never Openweight Championship match. We apologize to fans who have been looking forward to watching Anderson wrestle. After a challenge from Yujiro Takahashi and at the direct request of Hikuleo, Osaka will now see a non-title special singles match between those two. New Japan holds its champions to the highest standard of professionalism. We deeply apologize for the inconvenience and disappointment caused by this matter.
So they backed off on stripping him of the never openweight title. They just rescheduled the match.
Correct.
Wow, that's kind of funny. I mean, especially because and this is what I've been touting to people is this is the problem with having a title designed for people that aren't under contract. You don't put a title on someone that's not under contract. It's kind of fucking simple. You don't run into this problem then. Is it that hard to fathom?
Well, look at Impact and how they've been having a rash of putting belts on guys with expiring contracts. Ask them that.
True, but that's also expiring contracts, and that's taping ahead. But this has come since its inception, the entire never open weight fucking division is for up and coming talents that are not exclusively contracted to New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's asking to get fucked. I'm sorry. Because eventually you run into a situation like this, and it's like you think the fucking Anderson and Gallows are loyal to anyone but themselves? It's your own damn fault for putting the damn belt on them in the first place. I would have never, ever done it. It's like, oh, you guys are coming in for a couple spots. Good. Yeah, you're just going to work some exhibition shit. I'm not going to put a fucking title on you. No. So it's New Japan's own fault for doing that in the first place. And I mean, granted, I could see where they're like, they're never going to go back to WWE. All they do is motherfuck WWE. But then we get situations like this. Everyone with a pipe dream, though, of, Tama Tonga showing up in Saudi and Anderson having to defend the never open weight belt. Wake the fuck up. It's not happening. No, that is not happening.
By the way, congratulations to Sheamus who got married over the weekend.
Yes, he did. Which is they said he had an arm injury to keep him off of SmackDown.
Put his bridal party in kilts.
Yep.
God bless everyone.
They made Miro wear a kilt.
Hey.
I mean, kilts are comfortable. Not gonna lie.
A lot of open air to breathe.
That's right.
If you're wearing it correctly.
Especially if you get a utility kilt and you got all the pockets. Fuck yeah.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt.
Kilts are fucking great.
Mr. Downey, I'm going to ask you to stop blowing the smoke. Sorry. Sorry, I don't know. My brain went to WrestleMania 5 for a second there. Anyways, trying to think if there's anything else.
I have one thing.
Go ahead, sure.
Cat's out of the bag. I could finally announce the goddamn match for Interspecies Wrestling, November to Remember.
And it shall come to pass.
Any of you that are interested in buying tickets for the show, I highly suggest you buy the tickets so you can get in early for the VIP show, because during the VIP show, Dissension Pro Wrestling has officially booked our champion Bobby Ocean to defend against HBO High Voltage Omar. His first title defense since our hiatus from COVID will take place in an ISW ring. And to boot, the commentary team for that match will be the great Peter DeLong and myself.
Hey, now.
Yep. Old JJ back in the commentary booth.
Look at you.
That's right, baby.
Look at you go.
Yep. So if you plan to go to ISW on Black Friday, spend that extra couple of bucks for the VIP experience. It's well worth it. Also, in the next few weeks, we're going to make some arrangements for the incomparable Ed Wood to come join us on the show. Even for just a few minutes.
Let it be known. I will not tolerate inebriated people on this show.
That's why we're going to do it during the day.
Does it usually matter to him?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually doesn't start drinking until nightfall.
Wait till the moon comes out, then get wild and crazy. By the way,
did you see his Halloween costume?
No. Oh, fuck off. I don't even want to know.
They did a Halloween party at his local bar that he goes to.
Oh, God.
He was a giant bag of cocaine with a straw.
He was what?
He was a giant bag of cocaine with a straw.
Was anybody dressed like Tony Khan with him?
I told him, I was like, you should have had like some twink dressed up as Tony Khan to join you.
Let me see here. I'm going to try to... Was it posted in his profile?
Oh, yeah. He posted pictures.
All right. Hang on. I'm trying to scroll through here and see if I can find it. Oh, dear God almighty. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Oh, God damn it. Never disappoints. To bring things full circle, by the way, High Voltage Omar was also part of this past weekend's Dynasty Pro Wrestling Reunion show. I unfortunately was not at the show because of a COVID scare in my household. I was a bit out of it early part of this weekend, but obviously you can tell I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Did not actually test positive for COVID, but still out of, despite not testing positive, you still got to make sure you prevent a potential spread to 200 other people you don't know.
Yep.
Or you do know we're in closed quarters. So,
exactly.
Did have a good turnout. Pretty much sold out the joint. So
That's
everything,
good.
all the feedback I've heard has been nothing but positive.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens.
I'm sure they did much better than a show that's happening this upcoming Saturday.
I would say yes. Current talks right now are sometime second weekend of January. I don't know. We'll see. Cool. Depends on the venue, because I don't know what's going on with that. So that's not my problem. That's not part of my job description. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. That all being said, anything else, good sir?
I think that's it.
All right. That does it for episode 73 of White Heat, presented by Godzilla Media, sponsored by our friends over at Mohawk Honda and Johnstone Supply. Don't forget to follow us on social media if you've been watching the video portion of this show. It's been scrolling the bottom of the screen throughout. I'm at Brian Cady. He's at JJ_Alexander. Questions, comments, concerns, Brian.Cady@GodzillaMedia.com. Think of the monster Godzilla. Take out the D. That's how you spell Godzilla Media.
Godzilla! Where Godzilla?
The lizard is back on his fucking hand. Yeah, that pretty much does it. Enjoy your week of wrestling. Enjoy Crown Jewel this coming Saturday. That does not look like a tongue smacking the microphone. But anyways, that's just looks so wrong. Yeah. What is there a name for the lizard?
Larry.
Larry the Lizard. How original. All right.
You go to jail now.
Now he's trying to be a ventriloquist. God help us all. All right, Jeff Dunham. I don't know. Say. I'm actually not going to give you a lead in. Just say goodbye however you want to say goodbye.
Later, bitches.